Welcome all. In today's session, we will be discussing about variables in Python. So to discuss about variables in Python, let's proceed further. So what are variables? Variables are nothing but these are containers to store the data. So which kind of data does this container carry? And whatever data we are going to use in our code, that has to be stored somewhere. So these variables will act as a container which holds different kinds of data. For example, the data could be here, the data could be anything. So the data could be a string type data, or the data could be any numerical value. That is here, if you see in the code example, a equal to 10 indicates that 10 is an integer data and that data is being placed in the variable called as a. So if we talk about different languages like Java, C, C++, whenever we are using any type of data, the data type has to be mentioned. That 10 is an integer, hello encoded in single code is a string, all that. But Python is one such language wherein explicitly the interpreter will understand that A is a variable and it is going to hold 10 integer data. B is also another variable which is going to hold hello as a string data. So this is how they act in. So here we have variable. So certain points to be noted that variable cannot use any special character except underscore. Okay. So now, for example, if I say name underscore a equal to double quotes, if I just mention x, y, and z, this could be valid variable because underscore can be used as a variable. Keyword cannot be used as a variable name. So here, keyword means the reserved words. So those reserved words are always inbuilt in Python and those words cannot be used. Variables are user friendly. That is, I as a user, I can use any variable what I want. I can use A to Z alphabets. I can use anything based on how I want to use it. And then variable cannot start with a number. I cannot say 1 equal to in single quotes x, y, and z. This is wrong way of initializing a variable because 1 is our number. So let's proceed further. Then we can also use the concept of swapping two variables. Okay, so here in the code example, you could see A is 10, B is 20. So A and B are my variables which hold the data 10 and 20 into it. And when I want, I can print it. Then A equal to A plus B. That is, I'm taking another variable A, which is going to add up my 10 and 20. And I'm going to take another variable B, which is going to subtract 10 and 20. And then again, A equal to A minus B. So here, what we are doing, we're using the operators A and plus and minus in order to swap my variable. Swapping is nothing but just to change the position. So here, A 10 is stored in A variable, 20 is stored in B variable, and when I swap it, A is going to store 20 and B is going to store 10. So this is how I can do swapping of my two variables in my Python. So here I would like to demonstrate first how we can just initialize a variable. So here this is my Thorny's IDE wherein I'm going to code for my variables here. So here if I just say I will take a variable A equal to 10, I will take B equal to 20. So I have used my variable A, which is initialized with an integer 10, and B equal to 20. So I have already explained that in Python, our interpreter will understand that A is holding an integer value 10, B is holding an integer value 20. Explicitly, our interpreter will understand that A and B variables are explicitly holding the variable values 10 and 20. And when I just use my print statement indicates that I want to print A variable and I want to print my B variable. So now when I run the following code, you could see my A variable which holds 10 data is being printed and my variable B which holds the 20 data is being printed. So this is how variable play a vital role in storing the data of different types. Now, apart from I initializing and declaring my variable a equal to 20, b equal to 20, I can also use another way of getting the input from the user. So I am the user, I'm using it. Suppose if I expect someone else to input my variable, so I have to use my input function or input is used to take input from the user. So input is my inbuilt function or inbuilt method in Python, which helps me to get the input from the user. So how do I get the input from the user? So here is the code example. So again, name is my variable. I will expect the user to enter his name. So I will use input as my variable function, which helps me to get the input from the user and I will print that name. So let's demonstrate this in my IDE. So let's demonstrate this in my IDE. So let's go to our Thorny ID. Let's previously erase this. And I will take a variable. As I told, variables are user defined. I, as a user, I can use any variable. So I'm going to use name as my variable. And I will use my input inbuilt function to input my and expecting the user to input their name. So enter the name. And I would just like to print hello and print the name of the person who inputs the name. So here, when I run this particular code, it's asking me to input the name of the user. So let's rerun it. So the better way of coding is to encode everything and put a colon. So here I will just say X, Y, and Z. And then it says hello, printing hello name. So the name variable is holding the input which is being inputted by our user. So let's rerun and put some good name in it. So here I will say John and it says hello John. So name is a variable which is going to hold the data which is being inputted by the user, and in order to get the input from the user I'm going to use my input function.